Welcome back to Raw Sports Talk. I'm Chris, your favorite stat reader, and we have the Broncos hosting the Bengals in game number 2 of this Monday night slate. Not a very big fan of this, and it's two games that we probably wish would have gotten flexed out for a number of other matchups that we had going on this week, and yeah, this is what we got. Now, the Broncos are 7.5-point home favorites. The over-under is at 44.5 points. The Bengals are plus 300 on the money line, and the Broncos are minus 380. Now, these are the pre-kickoff lines. They're going to change the closer we get to Monday night, and I imagine, depending upon how much money people win or lose over the weekend, this is going to be a game that they're going to hammer, and I imagine most people are going to hammer the Broncos because, Jake Browning. It's supposed to be 72 degrees with 5-mile-an-hour winds and a 13% chance of rain in Denver. The Bengals have beaten the Broncos the last 2 times they played them, but the Broncos are 6-4 against the Bengals in their last 10 meetings. The road team is 6-4. The underdog is 7-3 against the spread. The favorite is 5-5 on the money line. The over-under is 5-5, and at 44.5 points, the over-under is also 5-5. The last time these teams played each other was last year, December 28th. The Bengals won that game 30-24 in overtime at home. They were 3-point favorites in that game. As far as the stats are concerned, obviously the stats are going to look way different with Joe Burrow versus Browning, but we're going to go over them regardless. The Bengals averaging 190 yards passing per game, which is 26th. The Broncos averaging 178.3, which is 28th. Nix has hit in a very hard sophomore slump. I think I saw that he was like 34th among active quarterbacks as far as like his performance has gone for the season because of how poorly he's been playing. The Bengals are terrible running the ball. Worst team in the league, 49 yards per game. The Broncos are top 10. They are 8th, 129 yards per game on the ground. The Bengals scored 19.3 points per game, 24th in the league. The Broncos, 22.7 points per game, 17th in the league. And the problem that the Broncos had in several of those games where they were kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns or just turning the ball over when they had opportunities for points. The Bengals allowing 254.3 yards passing per game, which is 25th. The Broncos, not to be outdone, 242.7 points per passing yards per game, which is 22nd. Bengals giving up 119 yards per game on the ground, which is 21st. The Broncos giving up 114.7, which is 20th. So neck and neck fighting for that position. The Bengals giving up 30.3 points per game, which is 26th. The Broncos giving up 21.3, which is 16th. Yet again, the Broncos defense hasn't played the way that it has, but when your team is turning the ball over, look at Nix's stats, it doesn't put you in an advantageous situation. If you're turning the ball over inside your own 30, chances are they're going to be scoring some points. The Bengals are 2-1. They beat the Browns week 1 with Burrow 17-16. They beat the Jaguars 31-27, and then they got crushed without Burrow 48-10. For the Broncos, they've dropped their last 2. They beat the Titans, and I imagine a lot of teams will, 20-12, although that game was kind of disgusting. Then they had the lead and lost to the Colts 29-28. They were trying to fight to come back, and they got stopped the last minute. And then losing by 3 points to the Chargers 23-20. That was like the first time that they've kind of looked competent so far this season. I will take the Broncos on the money line. I'm going to take the Broncos laying the points. I will go under in this game. I don't know how many points the Bengals are going to score. I imagine that this is probably going to be very similar to what we saw when the Broncos played the Titans, and that was a 20-12 kind of game. Either way, they would still cover because they won by 8. I know there was a lot of turnovers in that game, but I would try to get the Broncos on an alternate spread, probably by a field goal. Now, these are just my picks. If you disagree, please go with your gut, and please bet responsibly.